Welcome back to my YouTube channel Nitai Mandal's Learning Classes. Today I am going to explain NCERT Class 8th Civics Chapter 3, Why do we need a Parliament? Why do we need a Parliament? Let's begin the lesson. See, as Indians, we all are proud of the fact that our country is a democracy. So in this chapter, you will get to know about some of the functions of the Indian Parliament. I also discuss the idea of parliamentary democracy. You will get to understand the relation between ideas of individual participating in the process of decision making and a democratic governments need to have the consent of the country's citizens. These two elements are crucial in making a stable democracy. So these are the best expressed through the institution of parliament. Clear? So your first topic in why do we need a parliament, that is, why should people decide? Why should people decide? Okay. Why should people decide? See, you know that our country became independent on 15th of August 1947. It was preceded by a struggle over a long period of time in which people from all sections of the society had participated. The people who had joined the freedom struggle were inspired by the ideas related to equality, freedom, and participation in the process of decision making. These people did not approve of the way through which the British were ruling our country. Right now, see, so during the British regime, whenever the people of India tried to protest against India, they faced a grave danger in the form of severe punishment. So after the freedom movement started, the situation started changing on a small scale. The Indian nationalists started openly criticizing the British government and making demands. Right. So finally, see, it was in 1885 when the newly formed Indian National Congress, clear, placed a demand in front of the British government to allow elected Indian members to discuss the budget and ask related questions. Clear? No? Subsequently, the Government of India Act 1909 was passed, where the British government allowed some elected representation. You should remember here in 1909, okay, the Government of India Act was passed. Now by this Government of India Act, the British government allowed some elected representation in our parliament. Clear? So however, they did not allow the Indian citizens to vote or to participate in the process of decision making. You should remember there that, right? See, as the colonial government did not allow the people of our country to make decisions, therefore, after taking part in the freedom movement on a larger scale, the citizens became aware of this fact that in independent India, they would be able to participate in decision making, right? So, see here, once the country become independent, okay, the government tried to remain sensitive to the demands of people. The dreams of a common Indian citizens became true after Indian Constitution laid down the rules of universal adult franchising. You know that meaning of universal adult franchising. I think you have already studied in your 7th class, right? That all the persons, okay, above the age of 18, all the citizens above the age of 18 can vote here. So finally what happened, The dreams of common Indian citizen became true after the Indian Constitution laid down the rules of universal adult franchise, where each citizen above the age of 18 got the right to vote. Clear na? Okay. Next, you can see the Indian Parliament, right? So here, why does or what does Parliament consist of? Or you can say people and their representative, right? See here, a democratic country's takeoff is the idea of consent. It means that the government considers the participation, desire and approval of people before taking any decision. What people have decided creates a democratic government and how it is going to function for the next 5 years. Right now, the basic idea behind this fact is that its citizen is the most important person. The government along with the different public institutions need to gain the trust of the Indian citizens, right? So, an individual provides his approval to government by voting for it in the elections. Once the representative who have been elected by the people become members of parliament, that is called MP, one group of such MPs come together to form the government. Now, the parliament is made up of all the representatives who together do the job of controlling and guiding the government, right? So, here people via their consent or their chosen MPs control the government as well. Clear now? See here the Parliament of India consists of the President, the Rajya Sabha and the Lok Sabha. See Rajya Sabha is the upper house and the Lok Sabha is the lower house, right? Lower house of the Parliament. See our Parliament consists of one President. See President is the nominal head of the country, and under the President we have two houses, that is the Rajya Sabha, okay, or they are also called the member of Parliament only, and down the Lok Sabha. The tenure of Rajya Sabha is 6 years, whereas tenure of Lok Sabha is 5 years, and everything we are going to discuss in the upcoming topics. See, so two houses of the Parliament here, Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, right? Okay, now we can take a look on the comparison between Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, or the difference between Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha, right? See, Lok Sabha is considered as the lower house or a house of the people, whereas the upper house and the council estates or permanent house, we can call permanent house is our Rajya Sabha, right? See, in Lok Sabha maximum strength is 552. Among this 552, 530 members of the state, okay, and 20 members from the union territories. So, whereas in Rajya Sabha the maximum, okay, number of seats are 250, whereas 238 seats selected by states, union territories, and 12 members nominated by the president. But in Lok Sabha also 2 members from Anglo-Indians community, they are also nominated by the president. See, Lok Sabha presided over by the speaker, and Rajya Sabha presided over by the chairman, that is vice president, right? So, members are elected for 5 years here in Lok Sabha, and in Rajya Sabha the members are elected for 6 years. You should remember this. Okay. Now come to the next topic, the role of Parliament, right? The role of Parliament. See here, what are the role of Parliament? See, the Indian Parliament was created after 1947. The institution is an expression of faith which the citizens of India have in the principle of democracy, right? So, it is the participation of citizens, okay, in the process of decision making and the government by their consent. Since the Indian Parliament is represented by the common people, therefore, it has immense power, right? See, The elections to the parliament are held in the same way as those to the state legislature. See, all the citizens of India whose age is more than 18 years are entitled to vote currently, right? Our country is divided into 543 constituencies. 543 constituencies. See, when the election take place, candidates from different political parties take part in it, okay, from each constituency. So once a candidate wins, he automatically gets entry into the parliament, right? So first you should remember in this way, you should understand in this way. First we are going to vote. We will select our representative. For example, as a Raichur people, we will elect our own MPs by our valuable votes. Next, he will become the member of parliament. Clear now? So he belongs to a party, right? BJP or Congress, and their party, who the majority party, will form the government. Like that, we know very well. Okay. So, see here, when the election takes place, candidates from different political parties take part in the form of take part okay, in it from each constituency, right? Once a candidates win, he automatically gets entry into the parliament, right? Hence the MPs are the winning candidates who belonging to different political parties, and they will only form the government. You know that very well. So once a candidate gets elected, he becomes an MPs together. These MPs constitute the parliament, and these MPs need to perform different functions, which are follows, right? So we can see the role of the parliament. Now I think you understood. See, to select the national government, to control, guide and inform the government, and law making, right? See here, to select the national government or national parliament, right? See, the president and Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha from the Indian parliament, okay, the president, the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha from the Indian parliament. Once the Lok Sabha elections gets over, a list is prepared which shows how many MPs each political party has. If a political party wishes to form the union government, it needed to have a majority of MPs in the house. Very simple. So there are 543 elected members in the Lok Sabha. Out of these, 2 are nominated members from Anglo-Indian community, that I have already said in comparison, right? See, to form a government, a political party needs to have at least half of the seats, that is 272, or more members should be from that same party, right? So the political party which has the second largest number of seats in the house plays the role of opposition party against the ruling party. So today, in current scenario, you know that BJP secured the majority in the parliament, that's why they formed the government, and Congress became the opposition party today, right? Clear, no? See, so selecting an executive is one of the most important function of Lok Sabha. This executive is a group of MPs who works together to implement the parliament's laws in different ways. The term executive always comes to mind when we use the word government, right? Who are executives? All the members of parliaments are, okay, they are the executives only, right? The leader of the ruling party in the Lok Sabha is the Prime Minister, you know, right? Prime Minister, who is our current Prime Minister, present Prime Minister is Narendra Modi only. The Prime Minister selects ministers for different departments from the groups of members from his ruling party only. Okay, for finance minister, defense minister, home minister, like this, Prime Minister only selects the different ministers. Okay, So they work under PM, that is Prime Minister, to implement different decisions. These ministers are in charge of different areas such as finance, health, education, etc. Clear? No? See, in the recent times, it has been seen that during elections, a single party has failed to get more than 50% or 272 seats in the Lok Sabha, which is requirement to form a union. Right? Clear now? See what I am going to explain about. You should try to think. Right? So, but in current scenario, what happened? BJP is the largest party, right? Who secured the exact majority. Okay, as a single political party, BJP secured the okay exact or absolute majority, right? But before that, there was no absolute majority. Okay, so listen here what I am telling here. In the recent times, it has been seen that during elections, in a single party has failed to get more than the 50%. That is the requirement, right? Seats, 272 seats in the Lok Sabha. So which is requirement to form a union government, right? See, in such a case, they join hands with other political parties to offer their support. Offer their support, right? So all these parties have a similar concern. That's why such a government is known as coalition government. Coalition government. Now, another body, that is Rajya Sabha, functions as the representation of the Indian states in the parliament. Now, it has power to initiate legislation. A bill has to be passed in the Rajya Sabha so that it can become a law. Hence, see here, it plays a great role in altering and reviewing the laws that the Lok Sabha passes. Clear? No? The legislative assembly of different states elects the members of Rajya Sabha. So Rajya Sabha has total 233 elected members. Out of this, 12 members are nominated by the president. But whereas in Lok Sabha, what I said, there are how many? I said, see here, the a minimum seat, that half. Okay, there are 543 elected members in the Lok Sabha at present. 543, but out of that 543, on political party compulsory need the 272 seats to form the government. Clear na? But in Rajya Sabha, there are 233 total elected members. Out of these, 12 members are nominated by the president. You should remember it, right? These members are distinguished personalities of different fields such as art, literature, sports, different fields they are from, right? Now I think you understood about Rajya Sabha. So to select the national government, what I explained here is how we are electing our representative, and then how our elected representative become the member of parliament, and how one political party forms the government, and who are the opposition party. Also I have said the second largest parties are the opposition party only, right? Next, what I said about the coalition government, when one political party fails to get the absolute majority, then they will take the hands of other political parties who have the same concern, same goals, right? They form the coalition government. And then I said about Rajya Sabha, and what is the work of the Rajya Sabha? To review and altering the budgets, right? Whatever the laws they are, our government is try to make this budget, this bill, law before it, before passing the law, it was a bill, right? So what happened here? Our Lok Sabha used to pass the bill, right? And after approving from the Rajya Sabha only, the bill will become law. Clear? Huh? Similar things. Now, second role of the parliament is to control, guide, and inform the government. To control, guide, and inform the government. Clear? To control, guide and inform the government. See now, when it is in session, the parliament begins with question hour, right? Clear? So it is considered as an important mechanism through which the MPs are able to elicit about the working of the union government. They will ask different questions, right? And government should answer their questions, right? It is an important way through which the central government is controlled by the parliament. Okay, here, okay, our central government is also controlled by the parliament. Okay, because they are liable to answer their questions. Our government is liable to answer their questions, MPs questions, right? As the MPs ask questions in the parliament, the government is alerted of its shortcoming that could be present in a particular rule that it is presenting. Clear now? So asking questions regarding any bill is a crucial task, okay, that every MP is entitled to perform here. The opposition has a crucial role in ensuring that the democracy functions in a healthy manner, right? See, they highlight different drawback that are present in various programs, right, and policies that union government presents. See, they also mobilize support for their own policies. So, whenever an MP asks a question, the government gets a healthy feedback through it, right? So, it also keeps the ruling government on its toes, right? So, apart from that, the government needs approval of a parliament while dealing with matters related to finance. So, it is one of the few ways through which parliament guides, controls and inform the central government. Clear na? I think you understand. See, as the representatives of people, the MPs have a key role in guiding, controlling and informing the parliament. It is a key aspects of the way in which the Indian democracy functions. Clear na? Okay. So, third is lawmaking, or who are the people in the parliament. Clear na? Okay. See here, first a reading, that is the introduction stage in lawmaking. Second, reading, discussion stage, and third reading, voting stage, and that fourth is the president assent. See, lawmaking process I am telling about. See, first reading, that is introduction stage. I will tell it how it is. Okay. See, first the government will introduce a bill in a Lok Sabha, that is the lower house. So in the Lok Sabha, they need to pass the bill after clarifying the doubts of the opposition parties, right? And with the consent of all the MPs of Lok Sabha, they should pass the bill in Lok Sabha. Then the bill will, okay, go to Rajya Sabha. So in both houses the same procedure will be followed. First they will read the say there will be a readings. Okay. So in first readings the government will introduce the bill, and in the second reading what happened, they will discuss about the various components of that bill, and in the third reading finally they will take the consent, or okay, consent through their votes, okay, agreements through their votes, and finally the bill will send to president, okay, to get the president's consent. If the president get the assent, then what will happen, the bill will become law. So this is a simple process of lawmaking. First the government should introduce the bill should discuss, and then the government should collect the votes of the member of parliament, and then they should send the bill to, okay, president. So in both houses the same thing will follow. In the same, first what happened in Lok Sabha also, they will introduce, they will discuss, they will get the votes, and they will send to Rajya Sabha. Then in Rajya Sabha they will introduce the bill, they will discuss the bill, and they will get the vote, and finally they will send the bill to president, and finally the president will give the assent, and the bill will become what? Law. Clear na? See now, who are the people in the parliament? Clear? So people from different backgrounds get elected as MPs in the parliament. For example, say regional parties have MPs from rural areas. People and groups who are unrepresented earlier now have found a seat in the parliament. Clear na? See now, what it means, people from different backgrounds today, and seats are reserved today, right? See, nowadays there has been an increase in backward caste people or backward caste people, that is Dalits also, right? Participation in the parliament. So nowadays there has been an increase in backward caste peoples, that is Dalits on participation in the parliament. So the following table shows, okay, the percentage of people who voted, okay, during the parliament elections. Okay, I'm telling here. So Lok Sabha, okay, and I will tell the election years, and I will tell the voter turnout. See, first Lok Sabha, which was held in 1951 to 52, 61% vote. Okay, fourth, see here, fourth Lok Sabha, that is 1967, that is 61.33% vote turnover, total turnover of vote. And fifth 1971, that is 55.29. Sixth 1977, 60.7, so 49. Eighth 1984 to 85, there also we saw 64%. 10th 1991 to 92, 55%. And 14th, that is 2004, okay, 57%. And in 15th election, okay, 2009, there also we saw 58.1%, right? But in 16th election, okay, 2014, there we saw a sharp increase, that is 66.4%, right? Now see, from the above information what I have gave, it is clear that that a society's perfect reflection is not produced through representative democracy. So it shows that when experience and interest separates us, it is crucial to ensure that those communities which are historically marginalized get adequate representation. Keeping these things in mind, our lawmakers have reserved a few seats for those belonging to SC and ST categories. Clear na? That's why I said seats are reserved, right? Now it has been done so that the candidates getting selected from these regions get familiar with the problems that the Dalit face, right? So they can represent the Dalits and Adivasis interest in the parliament. Clear? So recently it was suggested that a few seats in the parliament should be reserved, okay, for the women. Today few seats are reserved for the women. The lawmakers are still debating on these issues. When our country got independent, only 4% of women were elected as MPs, but today this number has increased to 11%, right, which is really very low. So once the reservation comes into force, only then women would get true representation in the parliament. Clear na? Understood? Sometimes there are issues in which certain difficult questions are asked, okay, regarding the fact that if our democracy is representative enough, the fact that we ask these questions and are working towards answers shows that India has a better form of democratic government today, right? So here your lesson is finished. So please like and subscribe my channel for the further videos. Thank you very much.